I'm coming from a pretty profound series of sessions with clients, and I wanted to just pop in to remind you that this is a path that is possible for you. There is a lot of times in our life where we're so entrenched in the voices of old conditioning, of fear, and feeling like we're suffering in a way that is uncurable or there's no path out. And I want you to know that there is. No matter how deeply entrenched you are in the pain, there is a path out of suffering. And it doesn't have to be complicated, it can be simple. This is a big claim, and many of us are so deeply attached to our place and our loyalties to our pain that we don't know who we are. We don't have identity for a life without it. And all the rounds that we do, like many people come to me after having been to therapy, after having been to different therapists and coaches and healers and teachers. And there's a part of them that is still confined to that identification with the pain and the suffering. So, what do we do here that's different? Well, my clients can probably speak to that better than I can, and you can read all of that on my website. But I just want to tell you two things that happened today. The first session I had with somebody who was plagued by a lot of the voices of the inner critic inside. Maybe you know this feeling. The voice of I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, I am not enough, or you're doing it wrong. The self-doubt, the self-immolation, the self-hatred that maybe you can even recognize as somebody else's voice saying that to you, right? And you start to believe it. You start to believe it because you start to internalize it, because that was the thing that kept you safe, right? So if somebody came to me with that this morning and they left with not just freedom, but actually joy and love towards those parts of themselves, with the key that they needed to move through with a clear recognition that I am not the voice. The voice is a young, scared part of me. I want to meet, not I need to, I have to make it go away, but I want to meet this part of myself with love. And when I do so, something magical happens. That's liberation. And she actually left smiling and rejoicing. So in this time, in this place, there's a lot of ways that our attention is dispersed, and most of us are conditioned to meet each other from that place of pain. My life is so bad. My life is so bad. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it sucks. And that's great. We need company. And we also need a space and a way to separate and disentangle ourselves from the loop, the recursiveness of woe is me, the world is against me, there's no hope here. That space is possible. That space is cultivatable. Some of the deepest and sweetest work that happens here is in the cultivation of that space, is in the recognition of how simply and sweetly we can move into something freer, more spacious, more alive, more joyful in ourselves. And the second thing that happened, and it was quite profound today, was sitting in sacred space with a client. This is somebody who, at this point in our work together, we just come together and we sit in silence for most of our time. Yeah. I know it sounds crazy, right? To the mind, it's like, what are you doing? And why am I paying somebody to be in the quiet? Because so much happens in the unseen, in the unsaid. Everything starts to ground and integrate, and so many openings and so many closings, so much richness can actually start to surface from the deepest parts of you. And that's exactly what happened. Our session was a prayer, our session was a blessing for us both. And as we looked, we sat and cried in tears of devotion. This person recognized that everything in their life was a face of God. They recognized that they had been meeting God in the form of their brother, their father, their wounds, and now in the form of their lover. This is the invitation life is making to us, me included. When we get lost, it can feel like there's no way out, but there is. And that way is contingent upon us meeting ourselves in the depths, in the honesty, meeting the parts of us that we most want to get away from, because that's the direct path to the light that you are. So wherever you are, whatever you're experiencing, there's a way through. And if there's any way that I could shepherd you or guide you or walk with you and meet you and receive you, it would be my honor to. I have space open for one on ones. I have many group offerings coming up: Embodiment Lab on the 29th, Energetic Basics, a community call with the Pocket Project. This work is both local and global. Wherever you are in the world, know that there are many people around to support you. And if you'd like to explore working with me, go to cometocenter.com.